Trick did the same thing. Yeah, I got some others about it.
I do like that game. It's gorgeous game. But for 10 years, it was...
Back of the aircraft. If you see a bin is closed, that means it is full. Any other bags that aren't going to be able to fit, we're going to have to check bin.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck. Should be out of here in just a moment. Flight attendants, please proceed for takeoff. Thank you.